Alright. So, I'm Devaney, he's Adam, she's Ivy. We're the ICRC, or the International Committee of the Red Cross. We thought that the quote by John F. Kennedy kind of summed up the situation here. Mankind must put an end to war before war puts an end to mankind.
So the definition of genocide is described as any of the following acts committed with intent to destroy, in or in part, a national, ethnical, racial, or religious group as such. Killing members of the group, causing serious bodily and mental harm to any members, deliberately inflicting on the group conditions of life calculated to bring about physical destruction, imposing measures intended to prevent births, and forcibly transferring children, so like no national group, a set of individuals whose identity as such is distinctive in terms of nationality or national groups. Ethnical group is a social group or category of the population that in a larger group is set apart and bound together by common race, language, nationality, or culture. A racial group is described as individuals whose identity is distinctive in physical characteristics or descent. And a religious group is described as individuals whose identity is distinctive and common in religious creed or beliefs. If the genocide indeed happened, it would be considered an attack on national and religious group, or basically an ethnic group, which is a mixture of both. The act would have been against the Armenian nationality, and the Armenians were Christian faith while the Ottomans were Islam.
So, the Turkish side. Basically, the three black and white pictures show Ottoman soldiers during 1915, and the colored picture is what the flag looks like, only it's painted on a kid's head. The Ottomans say that there was a war going on, and the Armenians accepted protection from that war. Whatever happened between points A and B as they got to safety was not their concern, nor any of their fault.
Okay, and I have the Armenian side, and the three black and white pictures are pictures of during the genocide, and then the colored picture is a hand holding their flag. And in 1915, the Turkish government set a plan to expel and massacre Armenians living in the Ottoman Empire. So how do we know? This is our evidence. Half is Turkish, half is Armenian. There were over 2 million Armenians in the Ottoman Empire. By 1922, there were fewer than 400,000. The others, some 1.5 million, were killed in what historians believe was a genocide. And then this is a quote from the book, A Peace to End All Peace. David Fromkin put in his widely praised history of World War I and its aftermath, A Peace to End All Peace. Rape and beating were commonplace. Those who were not killed at once were driven through mountains and deserts without food, drink, or shelter. Hundreds of thousands of Armenians eventually succumbed and were killed. And then this is another from a website I found. Robert Fisk, Living Proof of the Armenian Genocide. The U.S. wants to deny the Turkish slaughter of 1.5 million Armenians in the 1915 genocide. It is only the picture. It's only a small grave, a rectangle of cheap concrete making it out, blessed by the flourish of wild yellow lilies. Inside are the powdered bones of skulls and bits of femur of up to 300 children, Armenian orphans of the great 1915 genocide who died of starvation as the Turkish authorities tried to Turkify them. But for once, it was the almost unknown story of the surviving 1,200 children between 3 and 15 years old, who lived in the crowded dormitory of this ironically beautiful cut-stone school that proves that the Turks did indeed commit genocide against the Armenians in 1915.
So, the war. Armenians were starting to fight against each other. The Ottomans said that they basically wanted to bring peace to the Armenians who wanted out of that war. Okay, that's fine. And treason. Because they were fighting against each other, they were basically betraying their nation. Many were killed in a battle against their own nationality. The conditions of their peace march, as they might like to call it, may not have been the best, but the Ottoman nation could not actually control the weather or the land. A lot of the marches were toward the desert. That was a safe area, according to the Ottomans.
So, in conclusion, based on the evidence and all the research, we conclude that it is defined as a genocide against the Armenian people.
We hit the left leg questions, okay? So questions for Team 6. Do you guys care about the percentage of Armenians killed or the amount that were killed?
Well, considering it was 75%, so 1.5 million were killed. That pretty much defines genocide, especially against one race.
So when you talk about, in the beginning of the definitions that you talked about preventing birth. How is that accomplished?
So if you prevent the births, then no more children could be born, so eventually no more children will be born, so the entire race will be killed off once all the current people alive die.
But how do they prevent that? I mean, how do they prevent people from being killing themselves like the guys over there?
From what I noticed, they had sent off all the men into the war, or the Turkish war, which they put it on the Turkish, and they fought with them, and so the women and all the children were left, and they ended up going to
And you read like the Holocaust, there have been other means of sterilization and things like that. Even though you're not killing the people, that's genocide, according to their definition. What about forcing them to give birth? That's genocide too, like having Turkish men rape Armenian women. Aren't you getting rid of the Armenian race by doing that? So it doesn't just mean kill them. Good question. Does anyone else have a question for Team 6? You are not inclined to take his questions if you don't want to. You can hear him out if you want, but.
Cheap gas or cheap concrete?
I would just ignore his question.
Is there a reason why they said cheap concrete?
Yeah.
Because there's 1,300 kids buried there, so it's like,
Why, it can't be expensive.
If the Turkish put it there,
Should be
why would they use
expensive.
expensive
but they're saying like
concrete if they hate their
doesn't mean
Armenians?
it's put the
Doesn't mean
bones
it's-
of 1,300
doesn't mean
kids
it's
in
a-
like some little unmarked grave. That was the point. He's confused. Okay, does anyone have a question for this group? We have one left. We're not gonna take a question from you. Alright, 6 is probably a little high, so we'll divide that by 2 and give these guys 3.